go. Let's see. All right. Okay. Yeah. It's good. It's all good. All right. Perfect. I had a lot of this stuff conceptualized in my head and didn't have a chance to really try it out to make sure it all worked until like right now. So it's all going along as planned. I had all this planned out. It's supposed to go along perfectly. But anyway, so those of you who are joining, welcome to the inaugural episode of the Conjure Side Chats. This was an idea that I had for a long time. If you have followed me during my trek on social media or in the public platforms, you know that I've done a number of different shows with conscious media with Mystic Media. We did. I think the first show we did was we had Conscious TV that we did and Conscious Radio that we did for a time, and then when I got on Periscope, we did um, Mystic Madness, and then we did Roots and Rants, and then we did The Seer Speaks, and of course now on YouTube you can find me on the Conjure Chronicles when I do my weekly lives for the Conjure Cafe. So we do a lot of different shows, a lot of different themed shows, and one that I've really been wanting to do for a long time and wanting to bring in is people who I connect with, people who are also in this profession, to let you guys get some feel for the diversity in the profession of spiritual practice and spiritual practitioners such as root doctors and so on. So of course, who better to inaugurate this than Dr. Lazarus Corbeau? Man, I first came across Lazarus on YouTube, and listened for a little bit, and then when I started hearing him talk about using red ant mines and using animal skulls and using shit, I said, okay, this guy's a real time worker. He's not giving me that fancy, fluffy, new age, new do, hoodoo stuff out there. This is old school. This stuff sounds very familiar to me. And we've kind of been circling in similar circles for a while. And I think it was your godson that formally introduced us, Lazarus.
Yeah, I think so. I remember seeing your friend request, but I didn't know who you was.
It's the same.
I didn't
So so
expect it,
so here's the funny thing. So you didn't know who I was, and then when he finally accepted, I was walking out my house. It was late at night, and I'm like, "Who the hell is this?"
That's how it works. You forget. People send me friend requests, and when I finally message them, they ask me, "Who am I?" You called me. Uh,
It was the same thing here. I said, "Who the hell is this?" And I was like, and I was looking, and then the account that I said, I was like, "Wait a minute, this don't look familiar. I don't know who this guy is at all." And
it
then we started
is.
talking, and then I said, "Oh, oh, oh." That's how it works. So you've been on a lot of people who would know you or been following you for a while, predominantly know you from YouTube. Dr. Lazarus Corbo on YouTube. What inspired you to get on YouTube?
Well, somebody else on YouTube that I knew told me to make videos, so I did. Didn't have anything else to do, you know. So I made some videos, and then I stopped.
And I think that's been one of the big questions. So I'm glad we're able to kind of get some of these uh this exclusive here, basic. I'm gonna call it exclusive. As to why did you stop making YouTube videos?
Well, if we get real honest, number one, I got bored.
Okay.
You know, number two, I just didn't fit in there. you know, uh, people would ask me questions about things I'd never heard of.
Mm.
And then when they'd ask me for advice, I'd tell it to them, and they wouldn't accept it because it was simple. They assumed I was, inexperienced or an idiot. So it ran its course. I've thought about making videos again. I just haven't got around to it. Got to be inspired. I just haven't been inspired to do videos. It's all been books lately.
Brother, I feel you. Sometimes I have to take reprieves and be like, okay, I'm just not. I'm just not. 'Cause sometimes you start hearing yourself talk, and you're like, okay, at this point, this is getting redundant, and I need to take a step back, rethink, refuel, come back a little bit later, and see. For me, I have a struggle with that because I'll set like this regular pace, right? And I'll say, okay, I'm gonna do this every week on a certain day, on a certain day, on a certain day, on a certain day. You realize after a while you burn out. Like you go intensively for that month long or that 6 months or even a year long or however long it is. You realize, okay, I need to take a break. But then like, okay, but I also made a commitment. I need to take a break, but I also made a commitment. So I go through um those personal, I guess, conflicts. Something that you said, I think, is so common when you work with some of the older styles of hoodoo, which is the simplicity of it. I can't tell you how many times I've told somebody something in maybe one or two sentences to do, and they're like, "Okay, where's the rest of it?" Prophet, I don't think you finished what you were saying. No, that's it. And they're like, "Okay, well, when you say that's it, like, do you? Okay, now when you said bath." Are we talking about I need to go to the river for this bath? I need to use spring water for this bath. Can I use faucet water? I'm like, just take the bath in the solution. I mean, just dip 3 times, come on out, air dry, and you're good. Okay, now when you say 3 times, should I stay under the water for 20 seconds? I mean, it's like how simple, can you make it? I think people they're so used to all this heavy, all this complex stuff that when you give them something simple, like you said, they think you're a novice, or they think that you're like you're playing games with them.
Yeah. And then they take things greatly out of context. I had a picture of a pot of collard greens on my Facebook once. A pot of collard greens. And this woman thought it was a spiritual bath. She asked me what was in it. I just told her she went to the grocery store and bought the stuff, cooked up collard greens and bacon fat, and started bathing in it. And you can't stop something that beautiful from happening. You just can't. You just got to let it play
Let
out.
it play itself out. If you feel
Yeah.
so led to bathe in bacon fat, okay, go by all
And
means,
the
man.
bad thing is, I need to go back and see how her life's changed.
Right.
Real good. I'm about to go bathe in some collard greens.
That might go in the next book right there.
Yeah, man, collard green bath. She said that sounds like soup. I said it does, huh? That was one of the last big social media interactions. People wanted to bathe in collard greens. I don't know how to react.
So you
Where I'm
went.
from, we don't have all that.
Well, you. What's so interesting is that, like you said, people read into stuff, right? And once again, they just can't let a thing be simple. Like it doesn't have to. I think one of the things I've realized is that sometimes people make their problems so big, so huge, so way out of proportion. It's so other than, it's so unique, it's so exclusive that they need the biggest thing in your arsenal to knock it out. And when you say, "Hey, it reminds me of Elisha and Naaman. He was a leper, been a leper all his life, and Elisha said, "Yeah, go dip 7 times in the river." And he's like, That's it. That's all you got." And he felt offended. He felt offended that something that simple would address, remediate, change, alter his lifelong condition. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah. Elijah makes me feel better about my own anger problem. There's any man that can get away with killing 2 kids for calling him bald. I think God's gonna have to like
Have
kind
some
of
mercy on me, right?
get. I mean, come on now, we on a bell curve or what?
And that thing I mean, that thing my hexes and curses are hell. Y'all ain't seen nothing. Y'all ain't seen nothing. So you kind of took a break from YouTube in between inspirations, but then Because Oya said that she found you, she watched your videos all in one night. She just binged. That's a lot
That's
of
better
videos.
than me. I ain't never watched a single one of my own videos ever. I don't even know what I say on there anymore. Got no idea. People email me in this video. I ain't watched it. I don't know what I said. That's been years ago. I
I
ain't
had
got that
to.
stuff in my memory or anything.
They'll refer back. They'll unless you call it by name. Like I had one lady. I was driving back home. I was hanging out with one of my godsons, and I got an email, and she referred to about the date. She said, "On this day, you made a video, and you mentioned this class. Can I have the link to that class?" And I think it was something like from 2017 to 2018. I'm like, I did videos back then. I had a
Getting a
video
little
that.
stalky there. They writing down dates and times and where you was. I'm like, wait a minute now.
And I was like, I don't think I'm running that class anymore. I don't even remember what that class was about. She's like, okay, well, thank you anyway. If you ever decide to redo it, let me know. I said, "Look, I'll definitely keep you in mind." Yeah, thanks for that. I was like, man, I didn't even know I was doing videos that long ago.
Give
So,
about 10 years, she'll email you again. And within 10 years, about the same thing.
and I'll be like, okay, at this point, man, I don't know what's going on. You got to stay current. I don't. If you're not commenting live and you don't put a comment under the video, and then on top of that, like recently, I didn't realize I had to get a whole nother app for on my phone for YouTube to keep up with my comments. I didn't realize people were even commenting on my videos. Like, well, okay, I guess they didn't get in live. They got what they needed and they went on. People have been giving, whole paragraphs in my comment section I don't know anything about. And so my friend, so you need to download this app so you can keep up with the comments. I was like, I thought that was already in the app for YouTube, man. It's just more and more shit I gotta download.
I didn't know. That shows you how much I keep up with it. That's why I have my email, because I'm probably not going to read it, especially not videos that old.
I went back and I was like, people been having whole conversations with themselves amongst themselves in my videos. I'm like, wait a minute, who are you people? What are y'all talking about in here? They've been tagging me and stuff. Hey Doc, what do you think about this? I don't even know y'all were talking. I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't speak English.
No hablo español.
You know? I forgot.
So you started going into um books, right? And you've written a lot of books, man, in a short amount of time.
Well, they're not very big, most of them. Yeah.
Well, see, with your books, this thing, and I will say, I was intending to do a review. I'm still gonna do a scathing review. I'm gonna do a very critical analysis. Now,
Oh, great.
of you and a couple other books. I just haven't had a chance to get around to it. But if those of you who are not familiar with Dr. Lazarus Corbeau on Amazon, you're on Amazon and you are on what the other? Don't you say your book's on another site?
There's like a couple on Lulu, but damn, the formatting of Lulu was so horrible. I'm ashamed of them books. That's why when I learned how to do the Amazon one, I started transferring a lot of that information over there. Easier setup. The pages on Lulu, you type something, put in a thing, it'd be all that way. You get like half a blank page and then the title here and the rest of it over in the next page.
It's
It
bad
was
formatting.
it wasn't very good, and I was very ashamed. And that was the first of my own books I bought. That's how I found out I don't even buy my own books.
I don't think
Maybe, I wouldn't either. I got the PDF.
right. But I get to see how it turned out.
I just it either turned out good or it didn't. Either will or it won't.
So
People like me, they won't.
so even though I don't think this is a misconception. Even though his books are small comparatively, they're booklets. They're very, very packed with good. Like it's small because it's no bullshit. He left the bullshit out. That's why. That's why it's so small. It's straight conjure. I mean, he'll give you a principle, give you a working. If you're looking at some of his case books like the Black and White Magic of Dr. Lazar Corbeau, those are very cut and dry. Like they're very straight to the point. That's what I like about them. So if you haven't picked them up, they're very easy reads, but you're gonna leave away. I'm taking notes. I've been highlighting. So okay, yeah. All right, let me. I would change a little bit about that. I change a little bit about that. But I like this. I like this idea. So you got started getting into books. What started you on that? What made you go to books of all things?
Well, half of it was I thought I keep telling Leroy everything. If I could write it in a book one time, I can say, here's the poem. There you go. Read it. There it is. And I
Bam.
thought, yeah, I can sell that. Now I don't really have to interact with nobody. Because I'm
Right.
weird. I like being by myself. And I found that books are so much easier than interaction with lots of people. Because I got a lot of crazy clients over the years. Things that, you know, kind of keep me up at night.
Man, man. I would have to like make this all locked down, VPN private to tell you some of the shit that has come through my inbox with requests of work and just some stuff that clients have gone through. I'm like, I feel like I need to be signing some kind of agreement to be hearing this kind of shit y'all are telling me. Like, this
Need a
is
lawyer and a bodyguard and audio visual cameras,
the whole nine. Censor.
DVR. Yeah, something. It's some crazy things.
So
But
I'm
you expect it.
Well, I mean, in this kind of work, in many cases, we are the last line. We're the last result. They've gone to the doctor, they've gone to the lawyer, they've gone to the police, they've gone to wherever, they've gone to the preacher, their counselor, whatever, and haven't really gotten the resolve or haven't really gotten the remedy that they're looking for. And so they come to us. And, you know, one sign of a good worker is they're not going to judge you. They may
Well,
not.
then 9 times out of 10, everything that they went to do, they didn't succeed in because they didn't follow their directions either. They probably ain't going to follow
No, yours.
ours.
Now that's the truth. Now that's the truth.
That is the straight truth, the unpampered truth.
That's why they
Nobody
came to
follows
you. They
directions.
haven't followed anybody's instructions. Yeah. Well, have you been taking your meds? Oh, I mean, no, not really. That's why I came to you, Prophet. I said, but are you on your meds? Like, no, I'm not on my meds. Okay, yeah.
And
See,
I'm on my meds, hell.
right. If I'm taking them, you need to be taking them.
You damn right. Take your meds, folks.
That's what I tell people. We're gonna work with. In most cases, we're gonna work with whatever profession's advising you, right? We're going to tell you, do you have a lawyer? I mean, that's kind of, root based. Do you have a lawyer? Okay. Start working with their advice. Let me know what they're saying. Let's interact there. Do you have a doctor? Okay, do what your doctor's saying. What are they telling you? Okay, let's interact there. Because I'm going to begin to adjust and change what I'm doing on this end based upon what your primary, it's almost like when you go to the doctor, have your primary care physician and you have your specialist. I'm a specialist. Go to your primary care professional, if that's your doctor, your lawyer, your therapist, whatever, go take care of that.
One thing I learned from Dr. Buzzard is don't practice medicine without a license.
Okay.
No health stuff for anybody I don't know personally. Don't do it.
And I don't even give health advice like that in very general senses. And like you said, somebody I know, and by I know I mean face to face. Like I'm gonna talk to you face to face. I'm gonna tell you, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. But it's so interesting because so this was so funny. I I've been thinking about writing a book. I've been thinking about writing a book. I've been thinking about this for a while, for at least 2, 3 years. And I've been getting nothing but encouragement. Yeah, you need to write a book, doc, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this is my own pragmatic mind working against me. Number one, my thought is this is me. This may be the self critique in me. I'm like, do we really need another book on Conjure? Like, do we really need another book on? Do we need another hoodoo book on the market?
We need another good book on the market.
And that's okay. That's what everybody's rebuttal to me is. That's what everybody's rebuttal to me is. And I'm like, so let me ask you, like on a real, real question. I have issues and motivation with writing a book. It feels so daunting to me because I have so much up here. I don't even know. I can't find the head or the tail of it. I don't even know where to start with writing a book.
I start by thinking of a funny title. That's where
Clearly,
it all starts. I
clearly
find
you
a
do.
funny title.
Clearly you do.
I'm like, I gotta find something eye catching. And once I
Hoodoo
get
for
that,
hookers.
huh?
Black magic for kids. Poom
Hey,
poom
that's floating
contra.
around Italy right now and the UK. So there's gonna be something. I got a client that's a school teacher. I thought about ordering them books and having her like sneak them in the kids' library. Really start something, get it on the news and shit. Start putting little black magic books in the children's library. That's actually where I found my first book on voodoo. I was in sixth grade in a very Baptist town where everything was controlled by Baptists. Nothing wrong with Baptists, I'm just saying, to give you an idea.
Baptists are very
And I
controlling by
still
nature.
can't figure out how that book got there. And after I checked it out, it was never there again. I mean, it was good too. It's talking about cat testicles and all sorts of good shit. I wish I remembered the name of it. It's an old dusty cover. It's beautiful. I was so excited. Here I am at this little middle school library. Yeah, where am I going to get some cat testicles? Get a buddy with the Humane Society or something.
Peter's gonna be on
And
your
that
ass.
actually worked, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, man, I would trade things with this lady that did the nutting and the gutting at the Humane Society. And she saved me the black cat testicles. You gotta get creative. I know it's kind of vulgar, but that was a pretty popular ingredient at one point.
No, I'm thinking like, what? No, I'm looking like, why did I think of that? Why did I not think of that?
The worst time I had was trying to get hog bladder from the butcher because they kept hanging up on me thinking I was making a prank call.
Right. They think you're being
I
funny.
just throwing it away. That was a little harder to do. You just got to think outside the box and get a hazmat suit, a pickup truck, and a 5-gallon bucket and a shovel and start running the roads. You'll find something. I think I'm immune to the plague and everything else at this point. I've touched so much nasty shit. And if it ain't been dead bodies, it's been crusty ass underwear. You get into a lot of nasty shit with people. I like that look on your face. You just, but it's true. I mean, that's a very common thing using people's underwear. Nobody thinks that's some crusty ass shit we're getting in the mail.
Hell
You know,
yeah. I mean,
I
and
didn't
and
know
then you get
man,
the
you could prop them up against the corner. No lie. I
you
thought,
get the
oh,
underwear in the mail. You get the used condoms in the mail. You get the spoiled panties in the mail. You get the tampons in the mail. You get hair in the mail. You get fingernail clippings in the mail. I mean, your root doctor is getting like he needs a hazmat sign on his mailbox. He's got to go in and
yeah.
decontaminate.
I send all my mail to the farm way up in the mountains because I don't want somebody trying to find me.
Oh, they're not
And
gonna
if you
find
don't know where that is, you ain't never gonna find it. And if you do, you're probably gonna
me.
get
Get
shot.
shot.
So I get sent some pubic hairs. My mama opens this shit because me and my daddy got the same name.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you say? I'm like, no, that ain't pubic hairs. That's from Saint Martin. That's a relic. She said, well, it looks like pubic hairs. No, mama, that's Saint Martin's hair. He was half Peruvian and half African. This is black dude's pubic hairs. What do you say? It was little clippings. Our dad's like, all right. Daddy's some dude sending pubic hairs in the mail. You gotta think on your toes.
Real
That's just
quick, you gotta think on
horrible.
your feet.
Because man, you're like, if your parents wasn't questioning you enough growing up, you'd
Right.
be wondering why he getting pubes in there.
People there in the mail. You're gonna be talked about. You're gonna be talked about. They're gonna talk about you at the dinner table.
Yeah, that's Saint Martin. I'm gonna put in a necklace, mama. Do what you gotta do.
And it's funny because one of the things that I noticed about your YouTube channel that I found to be very fascinating was your knowledge of saints. To be honest, when someone asks me about saints, I think of you. For me, you're the saints guy, and I'm sure there's probably somebody who knows more about folk saints than you do. But as far as people that I know who know a lot about
Hey.
saints, you're the guy.
Well, it's easier because, well, I'm Catholic, so I already got that.
Mhm.
And then I learned a lot about, Latino folk saints from Brian Holman, who was pretty popular. He run an email list on Mexican folk magic. He wrote like one of the first, if not the first, English book on the Santissima Muerte. So, of course, you can't just let such a vast knowledge of useful shit like that pass you by. So, I talked to him all the time till he died. I learned a lot about folk saints. And there's still a lot I don't know about. There's folk saints everywhere. They got folk saints in Thailand. They sit there and pray to the last dude that was publicly executed in Thailand by beheading him. I mean, they got whole shrines. There's folk saints everywhere. People just don't realize.
So with there's a long list of saints.
Oh yeah, lots of them.
How do you keep up with it, man?
Well, I know things about more spirits than I work with. But the big deal is you ain't have to memorize everybody's name because you ain't calling everybody in the yellow pages. You find
Right.
the ones that are jiving with you. The ones that you seem to get results from, have a rapport with, and those are the ones you focus on, study, and learn about.
Where for somebody who may not have had a Catholic background, like myself, for example, came up Protestant or Pentecostal Apostolic, where would be a good place for them to start to learn about the saints?
Well, first you should look to see there's probably a Catholic church somewhere near you. So let's say you got a church named St. Anne's. Okay, that's the parish. So the parish is the area and the people of that church. That saint's the patron of that area. So it's really a lot like, as an example, in like Africa, in the Yoruba towns, each town had its own Orisha. Well, each parish has got its own saint. Each state's got its own patron saint. Each country, then you got ethnic ones. Check what day you were born. There's a whole saint calendar. You can look and see what saints were there on the day you was born. And
Wow.
then you Google their names and look. There's some saints you're going to find more information on. We got some that the only thing we know is the name. It's recorded in a book. This dude got his head cut off during the reign of Diocletian on this date, if you're lucky. And then you got this one with showers came from two separate places. But these two characters have so many things in their life that are exactly the same if you just dig. So when you look up something, if you find somebody's name, don't just look see the name. Look up and see what that name means. Where did it come from? Because there are going to be clues in there, especially the older saints. Because I mean, let's be honest, a lot of these we don't even know these people really exist.
Right.
We just have no record for
And
them.
some of them could have been spirits from other cultures
Yeah,
that were.
Or, somebody set up a shrine and that spirit jumped into it. Because, we built churches over shrines. We did. Our Lady of Regla in Cuba. In Cuba, that saint is closer to the African Orisha than she ever was Our Lady of Rule. Now, that saint's older, but the image and the way it's presented is not the same saint. I mean, it happens. These things we just baptize stuff. What you can't get rid of, you just slap your label on. Make it.
Welcome to humanity, right? You make it what you want to make it.
Well, it happened before. It happens everywhere. I mean, West Africa, well, we got captured, so we better pray to the spirit that they pray to, because obviously he whooped our ass. And that's how you have like the same spirit that originates like Ogun, Gu, and all these places, all through trade, war. These spirits, whatever their origins, they move with people. You just kind of got to try to follow the trail. The saints are easy, you can start with just look up and get on Google, Catholic saints, and just find, look, there's one of them that's got your name. I found out there's two with my name. And they got some real crazy stories, and I don't even know how to relate to. You know?
So I think that's a very good point. You look at saints that share your name. Look to see what saints have a parish that's in your locale.
Yeah.
The saints of your city, saints of your state, saints of your country,
Country,
and
ethnicity, your job, your profession. I mean, we got mascots for everybody.
right,
We got mascots for tobacco growers, hookers. I mean, we got the whole shebang. And yeah, it's what like the parish named after that saint. It's probably gonna have a relic of that saint in it. That's like a battery. That's a temple. You know,
hmm
you don't have to go there for theology. You don't have to even go there if you don't want to. But it gives you an idea of what beings have been settled in your area. So it's just like when people consecrate an African shrine or anything else. That's what that is. That spirit's been called repeatedly in that one place. They're living there pretty well.
hmm
Sometimes it's easier to go to their house and try to give them 10 years.
So let me ask you about the relics and so on. So let's say, for example, there's a Catholic church named Saint Joseph. So there's a relic of Saint Joseph.
Well, there
Uh,
might be. There might be. It depends on what Joseph. At the same time, if we're going to be completely honest, let's give you like Mary Magdalene, for example.
hmm
If we put together every relic
right.
supposed to be Mary Magdalene, she'd be like 8 arms. She'd be like Kali Ma, but skeleton. You know, 3 legs, 6 or 7. You know, clavicles. You
right.
know?
Right.
But then you have others that are pretty obvious, like the the incorruptibles. Them people didn't even rot. We still got their whole bodies, you know, right there in glass. They ain't even rotted. They just look asleep. You know, so
Wow.
we got some things, and some things have a better history than others. But even if we dismiss the factuality. Is this relic really from that person? It'd be cool if they was, but if they're not, it doesn't matter because that spirit's been called into that relic repeatedly. Look what they do in Palo. They call these Congo spirits into human bones, and if you're getting them legally, most of them came from China.
It's true. Because it's
You
cheaper.
know, yeah, now you can't even get it there anymore. And skulls have got so damn ridiculous, it's like gas prices. Made me so. When I was young, I was 13. You could get a skull for $200. Now, if I was a little less scared of my mom, I'd have figured out how to hustle that $200. Now I'm like, man, that's like a mortgage payment. 3 or 4 of them. You
yeah.
know?
Well, I was looking at Bones the other day. Like Thursday, I think it was, and you can get like finger bones like $15.
Yeah, man, it used to be like 3 or 4.
Right. Oh, okay, something.
Yeah, man, India and China quit exporting human bones and just made it ridiculous.
Let
We
me.
need to. I'm gonna write to the president or something about that. You getting all these tariffs and trade deals, bring back the human bone.
Bones. Okay.
Come on, help us out. Help us out. That probably get me on a watch list.
Man, we're probably already on a watch list at this point. I wouldn't be
uh,
surprised.
you know what my night was?
Right. Exactly. You definitely on a watch list. You definitely on a watch list. You're pretty high up on it. You're a lot higher than I am on the watch list.
Man, I hope not. Maybe everybody will forgive me. If I didn't drop my card, see, I'm sitting here all ready playing with cards and stuff and drop.
I wanted to ask because I'm trying to figure out why this stream is acting up. But no. And they should have got the back page pass. I can't help y'all live right now. People are like, well, nah, that's showing up on YouTube. I'm trying to work on it. But see, that's why you should have got the back page access. You wouldn't have to have that problem. Anyway, that's what I wanted to ask. So like I said, um, okay. So you start off with a funny title.
Start off with a funny title.
Then what do you do?
Then you roll with Jones.
You know what? I'm starting to like this process already. I don't.
Hey, I'm legal, so I don't care. It's legal for me now. And then you just let it come to you. You know, your head is always full of a bunch of trivia. You just gotta pick through and see how it relates to that beautiful title. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, it's sad to say most people are buying a book based on a cover and a name. So I wanted to make sure, even if they didn't even want to read the book, they're gonna buy that just for the
For the
title.
cover.
Around on the coffee, that black magic or kids coming the hell on. Everybody.
It's a good conversation
People
piece.
got real mad about it though. Somebody flipped out. Like, is this what we're trying to teach our children? No, Leroy's like it's more of a joke. He's really not trying to teach this to kids. And this other asshole I've known for years has to chime in and say, "Well, you don't know the same guy I do. He obviously." How the fuck I was? With all these kids running around, fucking up their parents for getting grounded.
Right, for getting grounded. They get hair from the brush. Okay, I guess it's for this.
Hey man, you do what you gotta do. I used my mama's toenail clippers to make her fall asleep so she stay off my ass when I was a teenager.
So
You
let
never
me
knew.
let, let me ask you about this. This question came up. This is interesting you bring this. I actually got the reverse question before you went live, which was I think you might even cover this in one of your books. Um, Parents that have rebellious kids.
Parents that have rebellious kids. My mama, none of us rebelled till we got old enough to, not live with her because she'd get us when we was asleep or she couldn't catch
Oh
us.
yeah, you get that belt, get you in the tub, get you in the shower, hit you with a shoe, hit you with the broom. Let me stop before they start calling for.
Hey, hit you with everything. Well, if you know you got rebellious kids, start picking through their hairbrush and collecting everything. I mean, all of it. Figure out which of their friends is in trouble. Invite them assholes over. If they smoke cigarettes, make sure you figure out which brand everybody smokes. Get that cigarette because you know how that inhalation is little teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else. Put a straw in their glass. Take that damn straw. Make them and your kid hate each other. They're gone. Whatever you got to do.
Make them break up, make them fall out.
Yeah, and then just take your kid's hair and pray over that shit. There's Bible verses about teaching the child the way they'll come back to it. Pray for the converted. You ain't gonna fuck your kids up because then you're going to the nursing home for sure.
Oh yeah.
Which is why I should have had more kids because I get a little worried about the numbers game there. There'd be no nursing home shit. But my kid was pretty good, but I got his teeth.
Oh, see ya.
I started rattling that shit.
It's like getting them toothaches. What is that? What is this coming
You
from?
gotta calm them down. You do calm things. Put them with lavender. Put them with nice shit. Make them happy. Rebellious kids are rebellious because they're not happy about something. All we gotta do is figure what the problem is and work on that. They ain't gonna talk to you because you're their parents.
Right.
I didn't talk to my damn parents, and I'm sure you didn't either.
Hell no.
People didn't do it because it didn't work, especially considering my parents are in their 70s. Like my parents are older than most of my contemporary grandparents.
Parents. Mm-hmm.
Ain't no talking to them people. But if you got rebellious kids, the best thing to do is first to start to pray for them. Now, at the same time, we can go back to this saint thing. Look up their birthday. See what saint was on that day they were born.
Pray to that saint.
Pray to that saint. Because, you can use that saint calendar almost like astrology. I figured this out by accident one day. When I started noticing that on that saint's feast day, stuff related to that saint's life would occur.
Mm.
Here. So then I started doing this idea of I'm going to try to use this course.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, you can figure stuff out. But you go back and you look what day they were born under. That's like a zodiac sign, but it's a supercharged ghost. I mean, saints ain't nothing but ghosts. Most of them. Just really good ghosts. Really powerful ghosts. So it's not a scary. You want to figure out the camera code, right? To control your kid. It really depends on what your kid's doing because rebellious can mean a lot of things.
There's a lot of things.
Some people, what's rebellious to a Mennonite,
Oh,
ain't the same thing. So it's hard to be too general about those
Mm-hmm.
things. If they drinking, that's easy, man. You go to the grave of their ancestor, shake that damn tombstone, pour that liquor in, bring that dirt home, put it under their bed, talk to that ancestor.
Mm.
Man, get on, dog. Sorry.
Right, right.
Dog trying to get up in the show. If they on drugs, same thing, man. You got to figure out how to connect that. Grandma just put turpentine in Grandpa's liquor and made him sleep as fuck. That's what she said. But you can't do that shit
You
now
can't
because
do that
that's
these days.
you might end up
That's
kill somebody.
you know something that you said that I want to make a point out of, and I'm glad you said it. And this is also one of the hallmarks of a good worker is no pun intended, but the root worker should be a root worker. They should be going after the root cause. Like you say, what's making that child rebellious. We can deal with the symptoms, like any good doctor, right? These are your
Yeah.
symptoms, but what is actually the root cause causing this issue?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can give somebody a coughing pill, they got pneumonia, they're still gonna die.
They still go, they're gonna die not coughing.
And don't do just one thing. Look at it from all angles. There's a problem is seldom one thing. And the more stuff you can work on at once and safely and intelligently, the better chance you have in calming down the situation. Now, another thing is, and I've tried to get this point across to people for years, you can't consistently work on somebody because they're going to go crazy.
Yes, they are.
Especially, my sister, God bless her ignorant ass. I hope she ain't watching. Like, just an example. She want me to bring her husband back and send him away. And bring him back and send
Send them away.
Hey, shit. You can't keep conjuring the same person for the same thing all the time. They're going to go nuts.
The mind gonna take so much.
Yeah, they're going to go nuts.
Mhm.
Now, I mean, I've tried to theorize about it, but it's all just theories. All I know is you work the same person too many times. At like least it's going to be ineffective after a while because they get immune. At worst, it's going to wait.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've experienced that.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
nobody writes about that. Maybe that should be it.
You're absolutely right. 100%. Like you said, there are those two extremes. Either after a while, it begins to use its effectiveness. They built, like you said, immunity. Like with any type of foreign body in your body, either it's going to completely eradicate, it's going to adapt. The virus is going to adapt, or the antibodies are going to adapt. If the virus adapts, it's going to wipe you out. If the
And
antibody adapts, it's not going to work.
that's a great metaphor because, I mean, really, there isn't a lot of difference between a virus and a conjure. If you really think they're both contagious as hell, if everything's, broke down into subatomic particles, I mean, whatever the hell them people, Bill Nye and the rest of them trying to tell me that I didn't understand, it would all be the same thing. I mean, half of our work is about contagious magic.
Yes, it is.
The flu used to be viewed in the UK as an actual spirit. He had a name. They called him Old Hen, but it was influenza. It was just till modern day we depersonalized.
Mm-hmm.
I guess made it less scary for some people. I don't see how because it still fucked you up. But at the same time, we lost a little more control of the situation too.
Mm-hmm.
We personalize things as part of our language and understanding to interact with our reality. Sometimes we got to personalize things, bring that back, and it makes things easier to comprehend. You can't comprehend anything without a name. You don't know what to call it.
I was just about to say, talk about names.
Like, this is one of my favorite examples. My grandma's people, Aniunuya, that's what we call them, the Cherokee people. When they first saw elephant, they had to make a word for it. They called it giant butterfly. That don't make no sense to us. But big ass ears and the proboscis that we don't even see most of the time and take for granted that the trunk's the same. Gotta have a name.
Wow.
Names are real important on people, on saints, on spirits, on herbs. Look up the name. Where'd it come from? What's that name mean?
Mm-hmm.
Names will tell you a lot. That is half of Kabbalah, deciphering secret names. I mean, some people go a little overboard,
Mhm.
start seeing stuff that just by chance, but
Mhm.
give you an idea to work with. Dang, the language is crazy.
I've said that once, said 100 times. When you're looking for what to use in work, well, if you're using rum or using a cigar, what's the name of the cigar? What's the name of the rum? Right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna feed a mojo, what's the name of the whiskey? Right? Like those names are going to carry that energy and that vibration.
Crown Royal Wild Turkey.
Right.
And I drank all of them back in the day, so I know what they all do, and they're all different. I don't care what anybody says, it's the same ethanol, but it has a different effect. That's just truth.
The names are different, and those names are categorizing and describing different spirits, different, maybe you want to call
Yeah.
it magical phenomena, whatever.
All people speaking that name over the same thing. And that goes into people's self cursing. So many problems is caused by people cursing themselves.
Oh my God, talk about that.
Look at all the commercials about cancer. Everybody listening to it, eating it up, thinking about cancer. We all got the same cancer cells in our body all the time. Anyway, you ain't got to give it help to click on.
Right.
That's just how it is.
It's and then when we, like you said, we personalize it, we victimize, we identify with our condition, right? And so when you go in and try to help somebody or cure them or give them remedy, then they're having this issue because they don't know what they would be, who they would be, how they would be outside of their condition because they've been in it for so long.
Invent a new persona. You don't be something different, be something different. I'm not, well, I guess I'm Lazarus right now, but me and Lazarus is two different people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got a different personality than I do. We think different things. If you're stuck in what you are, be something else.
And that's
It's
epic
silly,
because,
but it's simple.
but you know what? That's the stuff. It's the simple stuff. Sometimes I give people it's the simple stuff. The same thing happens, in the scriptures. They would change names all the time. All the
Yeah, and
time.
about every 5 years, I drastically changed my appearance and my dress just to see how I. Well, I haven't lately, but I did that for a long time over the years, just to see how life would be different. I spent 2 years where I never sat at the table. I sat on the floor. Didn't care whose house it was. I'm eating on the floor. I sat at the floor.
Do those are the rights of shamans.
I still wear sandals. I got to still. Wintertime, it don't matter. Sandals is on. I don't wear socks with them for any of the fashion police out there. I thought about it though, just to really hurt some people. Yeah.
I have I know of a prophet, and something that this I'm gonna tell you what he did, and I'll tell you what he told me to do. He only sleeps on one side for half of the year when he goes to sleep. He says on the other side, the other half of the year. He said he got this from. Something happened with Ezekiel in the Bible. And then he told me I forgot what my issue was. I can't remember, it was so long ago, but I always remember this. And he would say either when you sleep, change the orientation of your bed, or change the way that you sleep in your bed. So he would tell me sleep back or sleep with my feet at the headboard, right?
Yeah.
Sleep like that. And I would have some of the most vivid dreams. I said, what's going on?
You gotta be careful what position your head is too when you sleep. You need to know where north, east, south, and west is. My mother Wasima, she was really cool. If you ever caught any of the blog talks where she was on there,
Mhm.
she had this habit every night before bed. They take a clean cloth and wipe the entire bedpost and everything down and pray
Mhm.
every night before her and her old man went to sleep. She said, "You don't know what kind of things go through your brain. You gotta wipe off that evil." So, I mean, there's something to that. I used to get bothered by blue haze all the time when I was a kid, so I had my bedpost all tinted black. Waking up, got salt all over the place. But yeah, the stuff like I knew of a guy that spent the night in the graveyard, eat graveyard dirt. Now that's a good way to get tetanus and shit.
That's a good way to get a lot of things.
Yeah, but it worked for him. He got a lot of power from it. I used, and this is going to gross the hell out of somebody. But I remember when I was real young reading about these shamans in South America swallow bugs whole to like incorporate their power. My ass running around eating bugs like I was a nerd. You know, I don't know how many spiders, swallow them whole, And these things nobody wants to do. Like, gross. Well, just try it. It ain't that bad. Just don't chew, swallow it whole.
Right.
Get it down before it bites you. This is like people used to wear their underwear inside out. Difference the spirit don't follow. Like sitting on the floor. This ties into this big idea I had once when I was first starting out. My idea was that if I wanted these spirits to trust me and talk to me, maybe I need to start acting like them. So I'm gonna stop acting like an average person. So I'm gonna sit on the floor instead of the table. I ain't gonna wear shoes. I'm gonna do stuff weird, walk indoors backwards. Do a bunch of little things opposite of what everyone else was doing to see how they would react. And ties into this big idea. You should definitely try it.
Absolutely, I think that it's something. Not only we can say, I think it's twofold. We can say that it brings the spirit closer to us because we're the different one, we're the unique one, we're the altered one, we're the other one. Or then also we can say, or we can say both, that it alters us, right? It gets us out of that mind of the normal. It gets us into that higher mind.
Yeah, you can, there's a lot of ways to think about it. But when I did it, my only thought was if I want spirits to trust me, it's like animals. Act like that animal. Figure out how that animal acts, repeat, and then they'll come to you.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Man, people thought I was like a deranged homeless man. But it worked, it worked. You gotta think outside the box.
As always, as always. Okay, so here's a question. This actually plays right into our time slot. I'll ask this question backwards. What is the first and most important step in divining?
First, you gotta figure out, do you presently have the capability to divine? Yes or no? If no, well, you got to figure that out. If yes, then you have to decide how you're going to divine. Because there's a lot of different tools and they don't all work for everybody. If you are a diviner and you have your system, you'll have that. It's already built in. If you don't, you need to pursue a system that works for you. I divine with a few different things, but I use playing cards. For me, Trickster Spirit's going to be the Joker card. That's tricks, lies, chaos, and the devil. That's me. It might be different from somebody else. And okay, let's give an example outside of just divination. Let's say you got, here's a good case. There was this little girl here locally. This little girl, I feel bad for her. Her parents didn't send her to school. She didn't know who Jesus was. Never heard of the guy. But some dude named Jesus was coming to her and telling her to go outside with him at night because he was going to take her away. And she said Jesus was scared. Well, that's obviously not Jesus. So if it don't act like what it's supposed to, that's your first thing. If that spirit says it's the spirit from the water and that damn thing's wanting to get warm, lighting fires, spirit gonna want water. It ain't gonna want, other things. You gotta test the spirit by the spirit. One of the things the hill folks used to do, and I'm sure a lot of people did it, they heard a voice that's saying the name of God, what do you know or who are you? If it answers then, you gotta test the spirit in all ways. So if it's a trickster spirit, go there and burn some damn cedar and uncross and stuff. See what happens. Psalm 91, see what happens. Things like that. If it seems to dispel it or weaken its connection, then that spirit's not a God or not helping you. And if you can't even do all that, give the spirit a simple task and see if it performs. Because I mean, there's a trickster spirit's a very loaded, broad term. Not always a negative thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty broad term. So sometimes trickster spirits useful as hell, especially if you ain't on the receiving end of the
Trick,
trickery.
right? Exactly, exactly.
Like everybody got a cousin that's a criminal, but he ain't a criminal to you
You,
necessarily.
exactly.
So sometimes you need him to go smash some windows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You gotta, these are really broad questions that could be talked on for hours because there's so many different angles to it. That's another thing I noticed. Everyone expects, or it seems to think that everything's going to have a simple answer,
Sure.
like a see, because that's how everything's presented now.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't never been that black and white. I
Yeah.
got a few black and whites in my life. It's all fuckery shades.
Shades of gray. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it just depends. I mean, that's like people come to me with questions like that, and I got about 10 more to ask them before I can
You
answer.
answer it, right. Right. And they're looking at you like, well, you should know. I don't know. But you ask me very broad. They don't realize that a lot of stuff is very broad.
Yeah. So if you got a problem with the trickster spirit, too, here's another one. That assumes that you are interacting with a spirit somehow, knowingly, and are unsure. Go interact with one you know and ask them about that. When you move in, you ain't never been in the hood and just trusted nobody. You ask somebody you already knew
You
about
knew who was
that.
in there. That's right.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good
Maybe
point.
that'd be easier. Go ask the spirit you already know about that other spirit.
I
Now
think-
watch, it's gonna be like some sibling rivalry bullshit.
Well, I think that when it comes down to tricksters, and I'm definitely going to agree with one thing that Lazarus said. I think is very powerful, which is uh, a trickster spirit don't necessarily mean it's an evil spirit, right? And don't necessarily mean that it means you particularly in your harm. If you know how to work it, like you say, everybody knows a criminal means a criminal to you. That may be a good ally later on down the road when you need to lay a trick. But to your question, I think it's in the context of divination. Number one, number one, I'll even take a step further and say, or take a step back and say, what is your regular protection regimen? First of all, what's your regular protection regimen? If you don't have forms of protection at all, then you're already going to be open to any and every kind of spirit to begin with, right? That's number one. Hmm?
That's a good point, but after a while, you just take for granted stuff. If they're asking this question, you just take for granted that they know about that, and that's my fault.
Bro,
It's been so long since I've really started answering simple questions.
let me
One
tell you
person I
something.
talk to is Leroy, and that poor fella gets cussed at by me every time we talk. you know, I'm verbally and emotionally abusive, I guess.
Let me say this though on some real shit though. So I have this Facebook group I have a group on Facebook, so I want to say. And Thursday is my day to do a live with them, and I had like 47 questions on this thread they wanted me to answer. And first of all, it just wasn't that kind of day for me. I just didn't feel like answering 47 questions. So when I was looking at this thread, and I've been doing this for at least 2, maybe 3 years. I can't remember how long I've been in this group. I've noticed this trend, which is people come in, they'll basically ask, okay, I have this situation. What's a good Bible verse for this? And then you don't see them no more. They don't come back and have a bigger issue. So I began to ask myself, what are they actually doing? Okay, step one, ask your question. Step two, here's your verse or your Bible verse. What's your step three? So I actually went in my group just to talk about how much we take for granted that people know. And I asked them, when we give y'all Bible verses, what do y'all do with them? How do you use them? People say, oh yeah, I use my songs, I use my verses. It's like, okay, because clearly there's a disconnect on what you're doing and getting the results you want to get. So let's be very, very granular. And I've learned over the years, even now that I'm teaching a lot, there is so much that I do take for granted. There is so much that uh, I assume somebody knows because I've been doing it for, it's almost redundant to me, at this point.
Yeah, and that's like, since people are listening, pay attention to that because I'm gonna assume too. So be very descriptive. You know, tell us what you know, what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It might completely change the form of the answer.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that being said, um, so you want to have your protections up. Okay, first and foremost, have your protections up. And one good way to have protection, similar to what Lazarus just said, was work with spirits that you know. Right? This should be in your spiritual court. They should be on guard for you, etc. And of course, fact check. Right? Okay, I heard this. Let me go to a known source I know to be true. All right.
Yeah. You know, and don't jump on spirit bandwagons.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them gonna work with you, and some of them you don't want to work with you. Like for example, I used to get a lot of emails about people with Santa Muerte wanting to like break up marriages and stuff. Yeah, it can be done,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, that's not her deal. Her, you don't know. A lot of people don't know, but her big deal is marriage, kids, death.
Mm-hmm.
Probably ancestor, family line. It ain't about making some dude leave his wife and two kids. I mean, you might get it, but you're gonna get fucked up, but she'll give you enough rope to hang yourself. A lot of them does.
I mean,
Kind of
because
rough.
marriage is supposed to be till death do us part.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a bad example. I mean, it's a good example, but I mean, you gotta be careful with the spirit bandwagon. Not everyone's gonna work with you, and not everyone do you want your life because of your life choices. You gotta be careful. Everybody want to sing in the choir, but not join the church.
Not doing the church. Man, let me tell you, for a long time, like for example, just to prove a point of what he's saying, Saint Expedite don't. This is one reason why. This is the honest reason why. I never really worked with saints a whole lot. Just to be very honest, because when I work with a saint, I wouldn't really get a lot of results from it. So that's why I said, okay, this is clearly not for me. So that's when I've heard about saints, of people getting all these great results from them. So one of the famous ones, of course, is Saint Expedite. Very, very funny is if I recommend him to somebody, it'll work for them. For me, won't do shit.
It might not be for you. A little known secret about that Stain is he's autistic. That's why people say something, they get it, but not the way they intended. He's got autism. You got to be real specific. Because if you just say, I want love, next thing you know, you're going to have dogs humping your legs. He's autistic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the best way I can describe it is Saint SPD is like somebody with autism. You got to be real careful how you word it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's an odd duck, and sometimes I think he's on protest. I think he got tired of people bothering him with stupid shit. So he just said, I'm going back. And at the same time, this is another big deal. He's a martyr.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he died for his faith. You can't be sitting there shit talking Jesus all day long.
And then want Saint Expedite to come work for you.
Now, I mean, there's some things that they just love everybody so much they ain't gonna care they're gonna help. But you gotta be real careful. It's like Saint Cyprian, man.
Which is my
there's,
patron. Mm-hmm.
there's two Saint Cyprians going around. You got the real one, and you got this demonic bullshit that parades at it.
Mm-hmm.
The real Saint Cyprian is a very hard ass fella. Like when I first tried to talk to him, he gave me insomnia, headaches, because he didn't like what I was doing. And if you read his actual story, not the ideas people present, you'd understand that. He's not the patron saint of necromancers, satanic sorcerers, and black magic and curses. He repented of all that.
Mm-hmm.
He's the patron saint of protecting you from
All
those
those
things.
things. Mm-hmm.
Helping you, get you out of jail, help pregnant women, all the good shit. He ain't there for bad shit. That bad shit is a spirit parading us that. Demon will take the name of Jesus, appear as an angel alive, and now we got a demon taking the form of Saint Cyprian, and there's cults forming all over the internet now. All of them doing crazy shit.
And you know what's so powerful is that I was having this conversation with a student of mine this past week. They sent me something that on the surface would look like a stigmata, okay?
Yeah.
But instantly, I have a gift of discernment. I said, nope, that's not it. That's not right. That's not right. He said, well, what do you mean? It's clearly the sign of a cross. I said, that don't mean hilly billy or shit. It has nothing to do with it. Okay, there is, as a matter of fact, I can almost quote it to you, but I can't right now. But there's a verse in the scripture where Paul talks about the spirit of another Jesus. I said, so just because it comes parading like this or like that, this is nothing new. There's always been imposters and people who've been parading as other.
Well, I mean, it's, to put it in a very simple term, I'm from Arkansas. That don't mean everybody from Arkansas is me. My name's Virgil. Not all Virgils are the same. My name's Lazarus. Not every Lazarus is the same.
Right.
Be real specific. And for anybody real curious about saying Cyprian, if you really want to get on this good side, you need to pray to Saint Justine before him. They was martyred together. So when he started, he's real heavy handed. Sometimes he just hard to deal with. You got to pray to Saint Justine and soften him up.
You
If
know,
you read the story, you know that.
You know this, and it's part of their iconography. It's part of their that's not the word for it.
Hagiography.
Hagiography, yeah.
But the iconography, I mean, there's a lot of iconography that shows them both together.
Yes. That's what I was going to ask about. So there is again, because outside of Saint Cyprian, Saint Cyprian the angels, those are about as close to saints as I personally work with. But I've heard it said that one of the reasons for Saint Expedite's kind of here, there, and everywhere kind of nature is because he is a mask of Mercury or Hermes or what have you, the Roman god Hermes. So that trickster, that you ask for one thing, I'm gonna give it to you in a different way, kind of.
Well, you could look at it that way. I mean, if you really wanted to break everything down into really like broad categories, we could break down everybody into something planetary.
Very true.
Break down about 7 categories. You can put 7 people together in a room, and they're going to take on those qualities for some reason. You'll have one that'll be Mars and one will be Jupiter, and that might not be that way any other time. So I mean, he is Mercurial. A lot of things that way. But at the same time, we should also understand that Hermes, Mercury, and Saint Espedy aren't necessarily the same person.
Right.
Like in Haiti, they talk about, and I'm probably gonna get this word wrong, but like the étoile, the stars. There's like 7 stars behind every spirit. It's 7 forms of the spirit, but at the same time, 7 distinct spirits. Even though it's the same. So it can be considered that. And don't anybody take any of this literally, because at the end of the day, I don't know the truth about this. None of us do. This is all speculation to try to understand. So don't take it like hard fact. I need to start putting that disclaimer on stuff. Aunt Jemima's God and everybody's taking it literally. You gotta be careful. I mean, we're examining phenomenon names in an attempt to understand the origin and the praxis of those meanings. We're not saying we know exactly where they come from, because none of us do. We're just assuming. We're just assuming.
Very true. Let me let's see here if all right, so we're at that point now. We can take some live questions if you want to. Let's see here. How am I supposed to do this? How do I do this? Let's see. Well, if you want to come on and ask us a question live, just message me and say, "Hey, unmute me," and I will. I thought it was a way that people could.
You know better than me. This is the first time on this stuff.
There's supposed to be a way where they can raise their hand. If you want to be unmuted, raise your hand. That should be an option. To
I think it's under Q&A, because now there's a little one there. Maybe I'm wrong. I just seen something pop up.
Yeah, I see that too. There is she was asking about angel. What is it? What she say? Uh, she wanted to know about angels. I sup-
Cool.
I suppose you work with angels in a similar way you work with saints. I mean, Saint Michael's an angel, Saint Gabriel's an
Well,
angel.
yeah, but official church dogma gives only three angel names. But if you want to get real complex, you're gonna have to move further afield to like the grimoires that have
Mhm.
catalog names.
Mhm. Mhm.
There's a pretty good book called The Dictionary of Angels, including fallen angels. And it has some inaccuracies, but it'll give you a whole list of names to look up and research.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then if you get real complex about astrology, you can
That'll be
calculate the
me.
name. Yeah, I did that recently, and I had no idea how to pronounce it. But I calculated the name of my natal angel and my natal demon.
Mhm.
Oh, well, that was kind of just an odd experiment. But a lot of those angel names, though, are extracted from Bible verses,
Mhm.
like the 72 angels of the Shemhamphorash.
Mhm. I'm over here smiling and because everything you're talking about is what I've been covering in my classes, in my private apprenticeships. We've been talking about that. Actually, we're gonna. Well, I won't give it away because I want to be a surprise to them. But
But
yeah, we going
rather
in.
than comparing, I mean, for Ebony there, I mean, that gives you a very simple list of angels for each day of the week, how to calculate the angel with the season, month, day, and all. But you get real complex, but it gives you seals and invocations for angels for every day of the week.
Mhm.
And you don't have to like try this summoning ritual. I have a friend that he uses those seals just like we would say in Conjure. You can take it from there, but it's a pretty easy to understand text to start with. And it's free, it's online. You can Google it.
Let's see here. All right. Who else we got in here? I'm trying to see what else we got here. Let me see if y'all are even enjoying this format. Like, this is something new. It's new for him. It's new for me. It's new for everybody in here. Let me know if y'all are enjoying this format. If y'all liking this style. Uh, yeah, the hip Tamarron. Justin, you should know this. Oh, don't embarrass me. You're my student. You should know this stuff. See, he's embarrassed. But here's what's so yes, the hip Tamarron. Uh, let's see here. Well, I guess nobody wanted to ask any questions.
Well, that makes my life easier.
Right. That makes it a whole lot easier.
There you go.
Let's see.
What about? Oh, there's one.
2 hours isn't long enough. Uh, well, you're gonna have to. Well, listen.
2 hours is the longest talking I've done on video in a
A
long
long
time.
time, right?
I don't know how long I've been here.
Let me see here.
Well, I'm waiting on that question. Now
Yeah.
here's I've got good questions online.
Well, while they're looking at that, let me go and check out this other stream here. Uh, I try to make this a little bit laid back. So, oh, that's definitely a you question.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because
I was
I don't do
waiting.
nothing. I'm gonna be honest. I don't do nothing with interpreting dreams. That is not
New
me.
method of interpreting dreams. Method one: throw out every dream dictionary you've ever read because it does not matter. People take that stuff way too literally. Some of it is folklore signs, like you dream of a snake, folklore says it means you got eggs. But what if you got a spirit in your court that appears as a snake? The big thing about interpreting dreams, so let's say you come and tell me the dream. The first thing I'm going to ask is, I'm going to pick out the main points of the dream. How did you feel when this happened, that happened? What was your feeling at the time? Was someone else there with you, whether you could see them or not? Did you know someone else was there? Big thing is interpreting how you felt in the interaction of that. Now, at the same time, secondary would be look for symbols and scenarios in your dream that relate to your personal paradigm. And at the same time, your ethnic paradigm, because it can be totally different. Somebody in West Africa dreams of a python, will have a whole lot different idea than somebody from Ireland dreaming of a python. It'll be a whole different boat. So you can't really lump a lot of dreams together as one easy way to interpret. It's all contextual. It's just like everyday events, man. Guy shoots a deer. Well, for him, it might be like, well, cool, I'm going to get to eat and feed my family. Old dude down there, he's going to be crying. That one's going to be protesting, chaining themselves to trees, and all little kids are going to be crying about Bambi's dad having a fit. But it's all one event. That one event means a lot of things to different people. So you have to really focus on how you felt at the time and interpret from there. That's the biggest thing. Outside of that, look up any ethnic symbols from your own ancestry and culture that may be presented, as well as any religious uh, symbols or ideas that could have been present there. And doing so, you have a better way to read your dreams. Reading dreams is no different than reading cards. If you read a tarot card, I don't know why people think this. Tarot is a damn game. It's a card game. Still played in Europe. It's always been a card game. We decided to make it into divination, like dominoes. So all you're doing is just pretend your dreams are tarot cards since everybody's in on that. There you go. You'd be good to go.
I have known that you need to have your dreams recorded. Also, if you get a chance to write them down, sometimes people will come to you right then.
Especially, I used to interpret dreams all the time. It was real fun for me because then I could really see what kind of sick people I'm dealing with. They would be telling on themselves and not even realize, I don't think I want to interpret nothing for you anymore, sir.
Right. Okay, so I was just.
And nobody will ask me to interpret dreams again. He's spying on us. He's profiling us.
Right. I've got a whole case file. Yeah, so you guys be able to see an icon at the bottom of your screen between the chat button and the Q&A button that says raise your hand. If you go ahead and you have a question you want us to answer live on the air, we can hear you and maybe interact with you. Okay, maybe ask some follow-up questions or whatever. Then just raise your hand and we'll get your audio going. Make sure your audio is actually enabled first of all. That's the primary thing. Then we'll go from there. All right, so somebody got of course. Thank you, Oya. All right. Oya, can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, Lazarus.
Hi.
Hey, that post that you put in the group with your upcoming Psalms book.
Yeah.
Let's see, it was the one about for the truth to be known about someone, and I asked you some questions under the post, and it's like I told you I can't put it in the person's yard. I can't, like, they don't have email. Last I know they didn't, and if I mailed it anonymous, like just anonymous, they would know it was me. Sending something like that in the mail.
Live far from you?
Huh?
Do they live really far from you?
Probably like 45 minutes.
Because wouldn't it be cool to print that steel out on a bunch of flyers and staple it to all the telephone poles in their neighborhood? I shouldn't be telling you that, but I mean, think about it. It just come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
I've had thought about like printing up something, like maybe asking for like, something I know they would probably open for throwaway to make it not so obvious, but putting that seal on it.
Put it on the
Like it's
envelope,
coming
send
from
it
a
to junk
church
mail.
or
Yeah, put it on
yeah.
the back of the envelope, send it in junk mail. Or here's
Yeah.
another one. Take that seal, burn that seal to ashes, mix it with ink, and send them a postcard. Write the stuff with the ink.
Let me ask you this question:
Okay.
Can you? I haven't seen the post. I'm just asking. With the seal, can I'm assuming they have to look at the seal or something, have to see it or something, or it has to be in the yard.
Well, not necessarily, because it's the divine names in the seal that interact with it. I just gave specific examples because if I just list seals, everybody's gonna be asking, what do I do with it? How do I
Right, right.
so I had to give them some ideas.
So if I print out the seal, can I print it so that it's so light you can barely see it on the page? Almost like a
Absolutely
watermark.
not.
Okay.
Be a great idea. Watermark it on their picture. But see me, I never cared if people knew I was doing this. I kind of enjoyed it because where I'm at, ain't nobody's gonna be able to bother me about
Right.
it. I mean, I might get like 50 pounds of quartz crystals left at my door or something, and I'll just take them. That shit's worth money on Etsy. I ain't gonna have nobody bother about it. But I mean, you don't have to take that instruction as literal. This is how it has to work. Be open to. Baba says, be creative. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
Tyler just gave me an idea when he said like lighten it, it up or whatever. So I think I'm gonna put it in Photoshop and
yeah.
do something with it and send it. So yeah, that works right there. But like I said, I knew I couldn't just do it.
I can't even use Photoshop, or I might have thought of that.
I can't use
All I
Photoshop
I had to put on paint, man, old school paint. You know how long that shit took, man.
I know
I
because I was on there
yeah,
for you about 2 hours while you was doing it. So I know.
that book
All
get
you
me.
gotta do is just put it in there and lower the opacity down to like 0 and like just insert it as like a background image and then
See,
just like,
oh,
type something over.
oh,
I
that
ain't
ain't doing
never
nothing for
used
us.
the word opacity in my life. This is the first time I heard it. Wow,
I went to school for web
that's
design. I'm sorry.
that's awesome. That's great. I should have, but
I did. Well,
I didn't either.
let's
But I thought they had to like actually see it. But thank you.
well
It's just like hiding mojo hands that you're using on people. They ain't seeing it.
but
You're
it's
putting
still
your
Yeah.
working.
mark on the universe. And if you're putting your spirit in, it don't matter whether they see it or not.
Very true.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Man, I seen somebody get fucked up with nothing but cornstarch before. So you do a lot of things. You just gotta think outside the box.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about, thinking outside of the box.
Yeah, I'll give you a box, but just don't stay inside of it. You gotta take what you received and run with it, make something out of it, keep it growing.
Very true. Ebony says Heptameron is the angel. No, Heptameron is it's a manuscript. It's a text. It's a book. That deals with angel names and particularly those that deal with the planetary spirits. Very good question, though.
Seductive spirits is in that hooker kind of that Queen Jezebel seductive spirit.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
So Leroy said, "No, you don't need a separate ID code. Everything's been provided for you by way of the email, so that if you did not register, you won't be able to get into this closed space anyway. So, um, yeah. Okay, let's see. We got another question.
Man, Leroy, the Saints love him. They love him more than me. I'm jealous as hell. They love his ass. Me, they're like, what do you want this time? Yeah, they just going up throwing shit at him, like he's up there dancing on the pole and they just making it rain.
Okay, let's see. The reason I asked because it asked. Oh, yes. So that should be in your email also, Leroy. If you called in, the number should be in your email for the access code. Obviously, I can't say it because you got people watching on YouTube, so they'd be calling in, which would defeat the purpose. But go back and check your email, the confirmation email. It will give you the numbers and also give you the access code for that number, the ID code there. Great question. Let's see what we got going on here. I had a question that somebody emailed me, and I can't find it. Okay. Uh, Here's a question, Dr. Corbo.
Oh,
During your videos, you smoke cigarette after cigarette. Is there an esoteric reason for this, or simply a mundane habit?
both.
Both. I was about to say.
Both. Man, I can't read cards if I ain't smoking. And that wasn't always cigarettes. Sometimes it was pipe, and sometimes it was different herbs and stuff. Why you had nurses harass me? You shouldn't be smoking. You shouldn't be telling me what to
Yeah,
do on my
should
yeah.
not be doing exactly.
Yeah. Go back to school and leave me be.
So
Yeah, I
this is
smoke.
this is a great question. I think I might make this one of my standard questions for guests on the show, and it is, what is your take on karma?
Alright. I'm gonna answer that with a question.
Mm-hmm.
So you sitting on your front porch. There's this, I don't know, 19-year-old boy walking across the street minding his own business. Car comes, hits, runs him over, and leaves him there, and he dies. Dude, if you hit him, is he gonna get some bad karma? Now somebody says, most people gonna tell me, yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what if I told you that 19-year-old boy just got away with molesting a 3-year-old girl? Now, does that dude still get karma? How did the karma line up to where he had to get karma to kill a dude who got karma to kill the dude? No matter how many times you calculate this shit, over how many ever fucking lifetimes you want, because I sat here and did the math one day. Whatever karma is and how you look at it, it had to have a starting point that wasn't us. If you really read like the Eastern text, what karma really is, it isn't, do good, do bad, get bad. It means action.
Action. Mm-hmm.
Somebody started that action before we got here. We just got thrown into it. So
We've gotten the chain
most
reaction.
people are thinking like, the New Age idea of karma, and I don't believe in it because I don't see it acting in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a pretty poor explanation for the troubles in the world. Because I don't care how, if Hitler got reincarnated as a schoolgirl, that schoolgirl didn't know she was Hitler. Why should she get punished for something she don't know? How you gonna teach somebody a lesson if they don't even know what they did wrong?
No.
Now, I'm not God, but when I die, and if that turns out to be the answer, we just gonna have a talk because I don't understand that. And, I just don't think I can ride on that. I don't believe in it.
So let me ask you about more specifically Conjure in the context of Conjure, who you're root working. If you but they just to I'm gonna just read the question verbatim here. This has been a big topic of discussion in groups: karma and reciprocity when doing work. Some divine for justification to do revenge work, left hand work, and some don't.
Don't do anything that you're gonna be too ashamed to talk to God about when you die. And that goes for all life. No
That's
matter
enough
what you
said.
think God is or who God is and what God is, don't do anything you don't want to have to explain later. Now me, I'm an asshole. I do horrible things sometimes. I have a lot of anger problems and I know my faults. But at the same time, Jesus bitched a hell of a lot more about a hypocrite. So I ain't gonna lie, yeah, Jesus, I did it, and I did it because of this reason. I'm sorry if that upsets you. Be honest. You know, if you gonna if you can sit there and do some work to kill somebody, but you too big of a pansy to get up there and shoot the motherfucker, then you ain't nothing but a pansy. Don't do anything with Conjure that you wouldn't do with your own hand.
Hands.
I mean, if you gotta fuck somebody up from a distance because you can't get to them,
That's one thing.
you're not the judge, you know. And some people, that's the only way you can fuck them up. But don't become a hypocrite about it. Accept that you're doing something that might be wrong and own up to it. I mean, I'm not here to judge. I mean, I role black magic for kids volume 22. You think I can be
You're the last
serious?
person to judge anybody.
And I just wrote a book now. I wasn't telling nobody to do the shit. I just put it out there in the world, and I'll probably have to explain that shit to Jesus when I die, along with a long list of other things I've done wrong. But that's the best rule, you know. I didn't hear karma till I got on the internet. I didn't even know what that word was. I thought it was that girl on that TV with that gay dude. Whatever that show was. You know, that's what I thought karma.
So do you think that? Because there are a couple of different concepts of this. Do you think that if I do a hex, that I'm going to get it back threefold just for doing it?
No, because if you start doing that math, this whole planet should have disintegrated into burning flames
A billion years ago.
Before we even built the pyramids. People are shit. I mean, there ain't no other way to say it. I mean, people, by and large, are very selfish, self-centered people. So the math don't add up. Whatever crazy ass calculus God is using to calculate this shit, I have no idea because I still can't even figure out algebra.
This is what I've said, and this is, I'd recommend that you get. I talk about this in my curse webinar. This is actually the first webinar I did. My curse webinar, I talk about the idea of karma, or the concept of karma. And this is my personal belief at this point. There are a couple of different options that could happen. One, your shit could just be reversed back to you. That's one thing that could happen.
That's the dangerous one.
Right, exactly.
Somebody bigger than you and you didn't even know it.
Know it, exactly. They spoke softly, but they carried a big stick, and you misjudge. So you got your shit thrown back at you, which is a whole other conversation. But the other concept is, like Lazarus said, if you wouldn't do it in real life, then you're gonna have a fundamental problem later on, which is guilt. And guilt in your subconscious mind can create a whole lot of things going on in your life, even if that's the reason for it. You'll work against somebody or whatever the case may be, and then feel guilty for it and trip and fall downstairs and think, see, that's my karma coming back on me. That's your subconscious guilt manifesting.
Yeah, and some people just drive them crazy over guilt, you know. And maybe that tells you that maybe you need to revisit the situation. And I've really been trying to work on myself. I'm trying to, make Jesus have a second look at my case file, maybe on third. I try to keep in mind before I go to hurt somebody, is there a way I can resolve this situation in a positive manner?
Amicably.
So some dude or some girl is flirting with your old man, your old lady, you don't like it. But you do something, make them find somebody else instead of trying to fuck them up. Because when you fuck somebody up, that just makes a person that's pissed off. And a pissed off person, misery loves company. Sometimes you just fucking yourself
up. You start a war that you're not even trying to win.
And then at the same time, your body's the coffee filter, all this shit. If there's any kind of karma or repercussion, it's not from that. It's you're calling these things down constantly. You're constantly in contact with this. You don't think that none of that, you can't go playing the shit and not get dirty.
Not get dirty.
Oh, you can't. And I mean, you can come take a shower when you get in from the field, but that might not keep you from still getting worms. you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
you got to be careful. So just if you're gonna do something, here we go. This is gonna be the quote of the day. That's gonna get on Tumblr and Twitter and everything else.
It's gonna be a meme.
Charles Manson said, "If you're gonna do something, do it well and leave something with you." Now that's gonna start some shit right
That's
there.
gonna start
But
some
it's a
shit right
good
there.
concept. I mean, it's a good quote. If you're gonna do it well and make it look good. You know, make it look good.
And like you said, be able to own up to it in your own conscious. If
Yeah, you can't be guilty. You're gonna do something, do it. You know you're doing it, know why you're doing it, and accept the fact. You gotta have some gumption, get some backbone.
there you go. It's
Yeah. He'll be like, I ain't putting him on the show anymore. He quoted Charles Manson.
I'll take it under deep review. So,
Yeah.
but this is the other thing. Something you mentioned here was that, and I've talked about this in my group also, which is I call it weaponizing a blessing. Right? I could hot foot you. I could fuck you up. I could also bless you with another job. That's the way to think about it. All right, we got a call here. We're going to go ahead and let you talk. Make sure you unmute yourself.
Man, I've always had good luck with people named Queenie. I'm gonna go to the casino after this. I'm serious.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great, wonderful. Good evening, Dr. Noji. Good evening, Dr. Corbo.
Hello, Miss
I'm
Queenie.
enjoying this program. I like the format. It's informative and it's good. It's good for the Sunday evening. My question is on the subject of karma.
Mhm.
Is it, or would karma get you if you send the hellhounds after somebody who really messed with you?
I guess it depends on how you believe and how you look. At the end of the day, one dude believes in karma, this one don't. None of them can prove it. So it all boils down to your personal life experience, whether you're gonna worry about it. But the best thing to realize is in life, we're all on the one Titanic. We're
It's going
all
down
on
eventually.
the Titanic. So try to do as least harm as possible.
Well,
Sometimes people gotta get harmed. Like somebody go mess with my kids, I'm sorry, I'm going to hell, but they're coming with me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me also say this, and I mentioned this before too. Um,
Mhm.
um, clauses, right? Working. Some of my mentor taught me working clauses into your conjure, which is if you are addressing a behavior, right? Let's say, for example, you got a wayward husband, okay? Then in the conjure, you go, okay, this spell of this work is going to stay in place until you stop wandering,
Okay.
Yeah.
right? And that way it's not even on your hands anymore. Long as they stay in that behavior, the work is active. When they release that behavior, the work is released.
The
Okay.
worst curse you can put on a bad person is to pray for God to convert their soul. Because the less they listen, the more fucked up they gonna get. Jonah got swallowed by a big ass whale, fish, whatever it was. You go back. God will drag you through shit to put you on the right path. This is a cool one. We do this in the group. There's a lot of prayer groups full of old pious granny women be praying for people. We get real mad at somebody. We
Just
go in
drop
there.
their name in there.
We do. I've been doing it for years. My old buddy goes, we do it. Like, y'all please pray for them. They living such a wrong life, and we want God to touch them. And next thing you know, they done lost everything they owned till they didn't have nothing left but God. And then they wasn't a jerk no more. Problem solved. They got finished. Everybody's good. And they was
Everybody's happy.
yeah, man. I used to
I got
pray to
it.
Saint Therese because her first miracle was for converting people. And you can't be mean to somebody that's sweet.
Right.
God will listen. People get tore up.
I got it. I have one more question. As a
Sure.
mother, uh, this is bothering me. My daughter drives a little black car, and I do believe perhaps it's a part of the license. play it as HMP. I told her, that's hemp. And cops keep following her. They don't bother her much, but each time, sometimes we're on the phone like to deceiving her. She's like, "Mommy, I gotta go. I'm being followed." I'm like, "Another cop?" And they keep following her wherever she goes. And I'm thinking perhaps it's a license plate. And then I'm like, maybe it cannot be changed, maybe not. Why don't I just see what can be done to just let them, if they come around her, it's for protection and to guide her, not to harass her nor anything. But she's okay. She like, "Mommy, I'm good. I got my license and my registration. I'm good. I
Well, you asking the right guy who wrote the book on narco. You know, I'm never gonna let you live this down. Wrote the book on narco conscious.
I don't want people to think that I'm like a career criminal. I mean,
Too late.
I've done some illegal shit in my life, like everybody has. Nothing severe, really, nothing real severe. But every time I get in that car, especially at night, every car behind me is a cop.
There's a cop.
I was a bad alcoholic for many years, so I was always driving drunk. So
Mm-hmm.
never been no wreck or any tickets, though, for the record. I was a very good alcoholic. I was very fun.
Functional.
But I keep a prayer card to St. Raymond in my car, and I pray to him to keep the police from seeing me every time I get in there, no matter how legal I am. I could be in there with the Pope, St. Peter, Jesus, Buddha, and Muhammad, and I'm still going to be scared of the cops because I live in America where the cops can handcuff you and shoot you in the back of the head and say they fear for their life.
Life. And if you're right there on, don't even get me
I want to
right.
see your license and registration. I'm scared to get it.
Right. I'm scared to move.
Man, yeah, I'm scared to move, and it don't help, having the hair I have and the things I do.
Man, imagine and Queenie, thank you for that question. We're gonna take this off the air here. But there's a couple of things that she said I wanted to lean into. So the old timers would tell us and I think we talked about this in a group at one point in time. Old timers would tell us if you're one way to stay under the radar of the cop, particularly when you're driving, is to turn your underwear inside out. Have you ever heard that?
I heard that for a lot of things, especially escaping from jail, which apparently my uncle was real good at. Look for them things. But yeah, I mean, I keep things in my car to keep it from bothering me. I mean, I got this whole litany of prayers. I got this shit memorized. I'm chanting it over every car that leaves my driveway because I don't trust the Bible. I don't trust them. I live in Arkansas. They crooked from the governor down to the damn crossing wall guard at the school. They're all taking bribes.
I believe it. It's interesting because I'm a relatively young fella. I drive a black semi-luxury vehicle in South Carolina. And it doesn't matter how educated I am. It doesn't matter how articulate I am. They will follow you. They'll stalk you. They'll walk behind you into places of business and just watch you. They'll. And here's the other bad thing. So I live. My house sits in a cul-de-sac. House sits in a cul-de-sac. So when I'm being followed, they can follow you all the way to your house and then turn and act like they're already going the opposite direction anyway. You see.
Yeah.
But like you said, I've got things in my car, both Conjure and otherwise.
The biggest thing to do is buy a car that only rich old white ladies drive. That will get you out of so much stuff that
A
you
Buick.
need.
I need to get me a Buick.
And put every sticker you can that says you donated to the cops on that car. I take them from my mom. I got 3 or 4 from the same damn year. I don't care. They're covered. Now, if you give me a ticket, I can't give y'all no more money.
What?
It ain't no different than the mob. The cops is just a legal mob. Come
Right.
on. You 10 and 2, and man, I even like cover up my hair because I don't want to catch drift.
Right. It's. But this is why. This is the other reason why I'm going to give a recommendation for you guys to get his book. narco, conjure, whether you're dealing or not. Okay, but that's
But
irrelevant.
if you are and it made your business prosper, I accept donations.
All donations.
It's in the back of the book too. I'm waiting for me some good old money. I'll be on
um,
the list for that.
but definitely pick up, and I recommend you Queen to pick up his book Narco Conjure. Pick up all of his books on Amazon. All of them. I've got I think 5 of your books so far. I've got Poom Poom. That's the first one I got. That's exactly why I got it too. That's exactly. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I ain't even gonna lie. That's exactly why I got the book.
yeah.
Poom Poom Conjure. I got that. I've got Love Conjure. I got that. I've got your 2 books on cartomancy, and I've got your book on narco conjure, and I've got your black and white magic books. I got 6 of your books.
Well, cool. You got more than I do.
All of them are good. All of them are good. Um, so that's what recommendation I would give there. But I think that we need to do a whole show just dedicated to dealing with the law.
Man. And if they're consistently following that woman without cause, it ain't what the license plate says. It's they've been riding down that license plate for some reason.
Mhm.
Maybe that license plate used to belong to somebody else. Maybe that they got them confused with somebody else. Or maybe they're just some racist ass motherfuckers
They just be
following every.
harassing.
Yeah, I mean, cops become cops usually because they was bullies and shit like that, and they want to bully other people. I got bullied by a cop with Down syndrome. You know
Mm.
how hard that was?
Stop.
No, I mean, I didn't know what he was telling me half the time,
Mm-hmm.
but he was real mad at me. And what do you do? You know, it's crazy. You gotta be careful. I don't trust the cops. I don't even do work for cops no more. I don't care. I don't care what's wrong with your life. You a cop, leave me alone.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah. Everybody gonna think I'm some damn criminal now.
I take cases if you're a police officer. But I'm gonna devalue your case first, just to let you know.
You can go with you. Don't come to me.
All right, so all right, we've got a couple of minutes left. I'm sure. Let me do this. Make sure all of our hands are raised. If you've got one more question, we may be able to take a reading um, on the air. Let's see. I gotta take a quick break. Lazarus, you're in charge.
Oh Lord, I don't even know how to operate this, but I'm gonna try. When here's a question: graveyard work and talk about bombs. Okay, so if you have no access to any kind of conjure stuff, roots, anything you want to do, you can do if you've got a graveyard. You need something for love, go find a married couple buried together. You need mess somebody up, go fuck them up with some grave dirt. You need money, go find the grave of a rich dude, call up his ghost. All of that stuff you can get all in the graveyard. And it's not just dirt. You can use the trees, the plants, all that good stuff. What can you drop in your lover's house if you don't live together to keep other potentials away? You can powder up some magnolia leaf and flower and put it under the mattress. You can take a jar of your pee and go to the four corners of that place and pour it against the ground right there on the foundation. And each one say the Lord's Prayer and say that person's name. Say you love no one but me. You can take their socks and cross one on the other, tie it like a cross. And you can plant that and every day say the Lord's Prayer 3 times and water that plant and tell that person to love you and only you. And they just think you water a plant. You can steal some of their damn underwear, tie it up inside your own and put that down in a jar. Keep it locked up and hid. If it's a woman, steal her bloody tampon from the trash can. You really get her good then. You got stuff. You can make a doll. You can make Mojo hand with like some chewing John, tobacco, licorice root, things like that, depending on the person and the great details of the situation. But there's a few things you can do. Is there a proper way to enter and exit the graveyard? Yes, there is. Before you go into the graveyard, you're supposed to knock on the gate and leave an offering for the guardian of that cemetery, whether it's, a dime, 3 pennies, whether you're pouring out some liquor, get a cigarette, anything. Because without the permission of the spirit that guards that cemetery, you can't really do effective work in that graveyard, or it won't be as effective. When you leave a graveyard, you never look back. Never turn back over your shoulder no matter what you hear, especially if you hear your name, because that's how you get fucked up. When the spirits are following you home, and you don't always want them to follow you home. Find a graveyard and make a friend. So find a grave that's been abandoned, nobody's visited it in years, and adopt that grave, clean it, bring it flower, make that grave your friend. The spirit in that grave you can talk to interact with the other spirits and beings in that cemetery. That was one of the first things I learned was the adopt a grave program. My first teacher, he adopted a grave in every cemetery he worked in.